I do see that we have a small but dedicated group this morning, and in keeping with our professional week theme of thriving, today's theme is how we can help others thrive. So yesterday, if you recall, we talked about what makes us thrive, and we shared some thoughts about what helped us to feel that we were thriving or growing or becoming more of who we were meant to be. And tomorrow we're having professional day where we're talking about thriving through change together. Because we have had a lot of changes, from change in leadership to change in working conditions, to, even more immediate changes to, some of us having to take, oh, there's Mary C. Hello.
I got on.
Some of us need to take time to do some self-reflection, because if you were at yesterday's community forum, you know that there are some concerns, there's some pain, there's some sharing that was done for people, and some of you may not have heard it before. Some of you may not live those experiences, but we have colleagues who are living experiences that we as a community need to talk about and delve into and see if there is a way that we can be proactive, so that we can stop what seems to be a combination of maybe microaggressions that have bubbled up, and also a feeling among our students that they may not belong here. So that it behooves us to help them thrive. And I know from a student standpoint, we really want our students to thrive. That's what our institution is all about, giving our students an opportunity to thrive and be successful in their career path, and get them from their freshman studies class all the way to their final seminar class in whatever major they have chosen. So that that is our mission, through our academic excellence, to our interactions with them, to helping them realize what they are capable of. So we are in the business of helping people thrive. So I thought that would be a good conversation for us to have today, is how can we help people thrive? So I don't know if anybody wants to jump in. It is our time for our coffee break. If we could be sitting around a table in the Anselmo room having a coffee break and talking about how can we be a real colleague to our colleagues, and how can we be mentors to our students. So if anybody knows a really great program that they're aware of, I know Marjorie, you do, and you're actually doing a program tomorrow for us for Professional Day, helping us talk about how you thrive through change. So
a lot to me is about communication skills, and I wrote a couple of books on that, and asked students to contribute to it. Some tough time they had in their life and overcame it, and I wound up with 83 contributions to this book from students, just in activities and communication techniques. There's 3 or 4 that I put together on that topic of how do you get a conversation started with somebody? How do you get acquainted? How do you make a connection? In one workshop I did it, and we discovered that we broke into groups of 3, and I guess there were about, 50, 60 people there. And the one thing that we came back with is that almost everybody had a fat dog.
Fat dog?
Yeah, at one time in their life. This is a group of 60 people. They had a fat dog. Another time we came back with, everybody had been, in the first couple of years of their driving a car, had been in an automobile accident. Another activity we do is, there you go.
Yep.
I had a telephone pole.
List of beliefs and values. And wherever I've traveled, whether it's been in Europe or here in America or in South America, I've discovered that the list of beliefs and values that come up are the same. Doesn't matter where you are. Certainly doesn't matter the color of your skin. We still have a belief and value system that joins us together. Well, what's happened is we're not focusing on that. The focus is not on what we believe and value. The focus is on negative thinking, being oppressed, feeling that way. And I don't deny those feelings at all. So the books really have to deal with communication, how to get it started and keep it growing by talking with each other instead of at or to. Like I'm talking at you right now, or I'm talking to you. But when there's an exchange of back and forth, then we're talking with each other. So if you're in a college classroom, how many opportunities do you get to have a conversation back and forth? When I was teaching 5th grade, I saved a part of every day for positive talk. Am I talking too much now? We would just have a time when you were respectful, a time when you were caring. I let the students come up with the words, but it had to be a positive character trait. And to describe it to the people in the group. So groups of 6, everybody had their opportunity to share. We didn't do it every day, then we did it once a week. So that, and definitely at the start of the week, that you had an idea of nice things that were happening around you that created a comfort zone. And the bullying ceased.
Marjorie, it sounds like you always create a safe place for your students.
I try to do that. I wrote a book called What's Right With You? It's not a question. It's a statement. When do we start looking at what's right with us instead of what's wrong? And I think I said this in the group the other day. Oh, I used to defeat myself before I brushed my teeth. Did I do that, Cathy?
Yes, you did.
Yes.
And you are gorgeous. Yes.
I'm drop dead gorgeous.
Drop dead
Drop
gorgeous.
dead.
You are gorgeous.
And without makeup today. Whoa, is that bravery?
And that's a great affirmation. Yes. The
So why do we feed ourselves the negative talk? Why are we in a society that's doing that? We're in a society that's saying, I'm not good enough. Guess what? You are good enough. That somebody else is going to dictate that you're not good enough? That you haven't met a standard that isn't even established or changes from moment to moment? So we wind up being confused. But I think that we need to start dwelling on the positive. And we're not doing that. We're dwelling on what's wrong. This is what's wrong. How are you going to fix it? This is what's right. How are we going to improve it? We're handling it from my point of view, from a perspective that is not going to work. Because when you try to fix a wrong instead of make something better, here's what's right. Now let's make it righter. I have students call up and use their cell phones and text a positive message to another person, a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a cousin, an uncle, a friend, an aunt, something like that. It has to be something positive. And I tell them in advance, tell them you're in a workshop and you've been instructed to do this. Because if you don't do that, the answer you're going to get back is, what do you want?
True. True.
It's true, because who's expecting a positive text? Who's expecting a text from nowhere that says, this is what's right with you? This is what I like about you. It's not happening. What's happening is, are you coming home? I am so sick of being in this house. I don't think I can stand it another minute. And that's the type of text you get now. Other times, what's for dinner? Where are you going?
How much money
do you
go
on vacation? It's negative based. The text messages, they're not positive. So if we all picked up a cell phone and texted somebody we know something positive, not about us, but about that person, and then that person did it to another person, and then that person did it to another person. Oh my gosh, how long would it take to spread? You told somebody, I'm going to give you $1,000. All you got to do is text somebody positive. Bam, it would happen. So this is an act of your conscious will. You do this action once a day. invite whoever you're texting, and you can text more than one person, to do it to somebody they know, but not back to you.
Well, the clip I showed yesterday about the TED Talk clip about kindness, how, you know, one act of kindness, you know, just follows through and follows through and follows through. And when people even see that act of kindness, it gives them that sense that, you know, oh, I could do that too, or that gives them a sense that there is good in the world. And there are kindnesses that we can show. And some of it is reaching out to people who are feeling wounded and feeling pain, because this has been very difficult, as I said, for a great many people. And they are, you know, feeling frustrated and that there's no way for them to turn. And they're, you know, and they're being bombarded by also a certain amount of rhetoric that they've heard before, and things don't change. So there is positive affirmation. Lisa Newland said it yesterday. We need to affirm and we need to acknowledge. And in that acknowledgement, we can move on to the affirmation to say, you know, there are so many wonderful things that, you know, he, she, they, who, and again, you know, even how we address people, you know, though we have students who are dealing with their gender identity, and we need to recognize that this is painful for them because they feel like nobody's talking to them if they don't identify with whatever box you put them in. So, you know, it's a, you know, the issues of racism have bubbled up, but there's so much more that is, you know, is in the box of people who are feeling somewhat marginalized or discriminated against. So I agree with you, Marjorie. The time has come that we need to affirm and to build people up and help them thrive, because people may feel like they're stuck and they can't. So I did want to make sure that we talked about that the importance of that word thriving, and that if we are thriving and we know for a fact that others aren't, then what are we going to do about it? You know, it behooves us to help people and thrive, because again, when you think about what we as a higher ed institution, the world of education, we are educating in the hopes that our students thrive through whatever they want to do, and therefore they are successful. So we need to also do it for ourselves, for each other. So that is that is why I thought that was a good topic for our coffee break today. I know Marjorie never thinks there's enough time, and I realize that. If the world,
I agree with Marjorie.
If we have, and Carl agrees with Marjorie, and if we, you know, if we had our druthers, we'd have tables out on the lawn at Molloy, and we'd be sitting there, and the conversation would go on for an hour. But you know, this is I know a little carved out time to be together, to share some of these thoughts and give us some thinking. So the next time we come together, something else might pop up that we might want to talk about. But we don't, tomorrow is professional day. I do hope you'll all be there. There's a committee that has worked very hard, and they've got some wonderful offerings for us. We have talented colleagues who are going to entertain us during lunch. So make sure you're there during lunch. And then we're going to hear from others who have really been in the trenches and trying to make sure everything worked during this time of remote work, and what their experience has been. So the panel at the end of the day should be interesting too. But I am rounding on to a little bit before 11, and I do unfortunately myself have an 11 o'clock meeting. So I'm going to say goodbye. I know, don't you start with me, Marjorie. So, but thank you all. It's so good to see you, and I will catch up with you on Friday, all right? Where we're going to talk about what has changed, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Take care,
thank you.
everybody.
Great
Bye
day.
now. Take it easy.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.